there everybody, Sam Strains here, welcome back to the Railway and welcome back to another Express review. Today, as you can probably tell by this box, we're going to be looking at a Terrier today, and it's this one in one of my favourite liveries actually, which is incidentally the cheapest, but I'm serious, it is my favourite. This is Whitechapel in, I think it's called Strowsley's Improved Engine Green, and when you see this you'll wonder why on earth is it called green, and I wondered the same, and I'll talk about that a bit later. But anyway, let's have a quick look at the end of the box before I get this open. This is our 3247 060 LB and SCR Terrier locomotive Whitechapel. And you can see they've put a little sticker over where it says DCC ready, because these aren't DCC ready, so that's quite funny. Anyway, let's get this one out then. I'll just undo the end of the box here and get this one out. And it's quite minimalist, this one. You don't get any detail pack or anything. You do just get the instructions, which I will show you very, very briefly. So yeah, this is for the 060 Terrier, the operating and maintenance instructions. And inside, yes, it's just the usual servicing information and such, which is useful when we need to service her, but this one is actually brand new, so I don't need to do that. Anyway, so yeah, I bought this one for $49.99, I think, which is quite a good price. So yeah, let's get it out, shall we? Whoops, sorry for the noise. Get the plastic out the way, and here it is. Wow. It's so tiny. Now, a lot of people say that these aren't very detailed, and I suppose they're not that detailed really, but the thing is they're so tiny that all the detail is squashed into such a tiny area. It makes them really, really impressive. Now, I believe these came from Dapol, didn't they, before Hornby started producing them. So not a brand new tooling by any means, but certainly a very nicely detailed locomotive, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to get this reviewed in a second for you, but first of all, here's a little bit of history on the Terriers. So the proper name for the Terrier is the LB and SCR A1 class, which was designed by William Stroudley and built between 1872 and 1880. The A1s originally hauled commuter trains in the southeast of London during the LB and SCR years, and then they were inherited by the SR, the Southern Railway, in 1923, where most of them remained in traffic. Withdrawal of the class occurred over several years, the first being as early as 1901, and by 1964 all members of the class were withdrawn, but luckily 10 have been preserved. So there she is then, number 650 Whitechapel in Stroudley's Improved Engine Green. So you might be wondering why this is called green, but apparently William Stroudley was actually colourblind, which suddenly makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Still, I don't know why they let a colourblind guy choose the livery, but let's face it, it is pretty lovely, isn't it? I do really like the LB and SCR brown, but it is clearly brown, not green. Anyway, enough about that. I'm not ranting, I'm just making a bit of a joke of it, shouldn't really. So yeah, as you can see, as I was saying, it isn't a truly detailed model, but it does have a lot of separately fitted parts, and it is painted in such a way to make the detail really stand out, which I think is fantastic. So let's have a quick look at the paintwork then. As you can see on the boiler, you have quite a bit of intricate lining there with red, black and red banding, which does look lovely, doesn't it? And you have Whitechapel very nicely applied there onto the side of the water tank, and then you've got things like the running number there very nicely applied, and what is probably a builder's plate just over this splasher here, very, very nicely done. And there's a lot of detail picked out with the paintwork. So you've got the copper coloured chimney, of course, you've got the red stripe which goes along the running board, and even the connecting rods, as you can see, are painted into the red. And then you have this sort of green, there's a lot of parts of it which are picked out into the green, as you can see there, which does look absolutely superb. You don't have any cab detail, unfortunately, but around the cab is very nicely detailed. So the cab roof is done into a grey, and then the cab windows are lined in a copper colour, I would say, and they're also glazed, which is fantastic. And round the back of the cab you can see that there is quite nicely detailed coal. It is a very tiny coal bunker, and then what looks like a little tool chest at the back there. The smoke box door has some painted detail on it, as well as a separately fitted handrail, and the buffer beams, as you can see, look very lovely with their paintwork. The buffers aren't sprung, let me just show you that. No, not sprung, but you do have a separately fitted vacuum pipe on each buffer beam. So I haven't really got time to talk much more about the detail, but as you can see, it is pretty significant for a model of this size. Look, there's my hand. And, well, my hand's even behind it, so yeah, it's very well detailed. Anyway, let's see how it runs then, shall we? And get it down onto the track. So there is Whitechapel then, down onto the track, and she's going to have her strength tested with 4 of these southern coaches, which should be a good test for her. And then elsewhere on the layout I have hidden, and we're also going to be running, some other tiny locomotives. This one's going to be running the J50 with a little goods train, and then on the inner line the 14XX is also going to be running. But don't forget, also elsewhere on the line there are some other tiny locos hidden, so see if you can spot all of those. But for now then, let's get this lovely Whitechapel loco tested, and she's about to cross over this express point, so we'll see how she deals with that. But let's get her to do some slow speed performance. Wow, that is absolutely incredible, isn't it? Look how slow that is. And I can't hear any noise from her either. It can go slower, look. Gosh. Okay, let's see how she does on the point. Very good. Yep, she did make it. I had her stop on a point earlier actually, so let's try again. Very, very good. Got to admit, that is a very good performer. The only issues with performance are then the fact that it isn't DCC ready, so you can't DCC these if you want to, and also it is a little bit noisy at those higher speeds, but not to worry, let's get her off then. Yeah, a little bit noisy, a little bit squeaky. I have oiled her, but that is just how she is. Okay, and the J15 then, a gorgeous, oops, going backwards, a gorgeous Hornby loco. Going forwards this time, and I do love doing these little tiny goods trains. And finally then the 14XX, not quite so small as the others, but still pretty small. Okay, enjoyed the running session and keep your eyes out for those other locos. So here comes Whitechapel now then, doing very well with her coaches, and today I've set her to take a bit of an unusual route, just for a bit of something different. So let me know in the poll if you enjoy seeing this sort of thing. I just thought I'd have a go a different way today. And yes, the mountain pass is finally finished, so I hope you like it. I might, well, if you want me to do it, I'll do a video showing it properly. But no doubt you'll see it anyway within the next few videos. But yep, let's not take the eyes off Whitechapel. Here she comes on the uphill section. A little tiny bit of wheel slip perhaps, but nothing substantial. Very, very good. And now for my ratings then on the Hornby Terrier. Detail 8 out of 10, performance 8 out of 10, character 10 out of 10, build quality 10 out of 10, value 10 out of 10, so that gives her overall 9.09 out of 10, ranking her 6th just above the Barclay 060 and below the L1 tank. But ultimately it was the price that made this loco absolutely fantastic. Really, really good. You're going a bit fast. Sorry about that. I love that J15, I really, really do. Alright then everybody, well I think that will just about do it for today. I do hope you enjoyed seeing the Terrier. Something very different for me, and you know I'd like to do my big tender engines, but I must admit I really, really loved showing you this, so I hope you've enjoyed seeing it as well. Of course, if you did enjoy it, please feel free to leave the video a like or even a comment, because I do love it when you guys get in touch. And also, if you'd like to, you can check out the Facebook or Twitter pages, which are at facebook.com/samstrains or twitter.com/samstrains. It would be lovely to see you on there, but for now, once again, thank you very much for watching. I will see you all very soon. Cheers everybody.